Good morning. Good morning. Hope all is well. It is Jackie Glass, Mama, Navy Vet, Certified Doer, and your laced up legislator for the House of Delegates 89th District. Good morning, Certified Doers. Up and at it on this Tuesday as we creep deeply into July. Cannot believe it. We're in double digits, y'all. You know, July marks the portion of the year. We're actually in the other half of the year. If you didn't know. Good morning, Cheyenne. I hope all is well. We're in the other half of the year, and I hope that the first half has treated you extremely well. Good morning. Getting some folks in. You too. You make it a great day. We're so grateful that we've got the upper. We're upright, as you like to say, 10 toes down. 10 toes down today. Wow. I'm not even gonna hide it, man. That there's a lot going on, and I'm trying not to be all exhaustive. This morning I debated. I said, do I want to get up? And the answer was no. I did not want to get up this morning. I did not want to start the day. But there is a level of commitment that we have, and responsibility, personal responsibility that we have to each other in doing this. So I must admit, sometimes you're going to start your day and, you're not going to want to do all the responsibilities you have for the day, but the key part is that you started your day, and that is super important to me. Is that most days when we have to get up and get at it, is that we start our day. Nothing else starts our day. So I'm gonna make sure you guys, do we have water? Please make sure you have water, hydrate, because you're a flower. You need to water yourself. So I'm going to take a sip and then get into the real today. Good morning, Key. Good morning, Nita. Man, yes. Hey, listen, this is all I got. If you don't want to hear me say that some days I don't want to get at it, then, this is the wrong place for you. Hope. Shout out to Hope. Hope is running for city council in Hampton on here early this morning. Good morning. Good morning. All right, so here we go. Starting at the state level, don't want to creep you guys out. Don't want to cause a panic, but 27 people in the Commonwealth have this this monkeypox, right? That's real, right? 27 people, right? Not trying to cause a panic. It's up in Maryland and all these other places, but like just being cognizant that that's out there. On top of that, what I haven't gotten the opportunity to dig into, actually let me pull myself together on this one. It's a rash, and I think they said that 3 people have actually passed away from the monkeypox. Now, again, not meant to cause any panic. This is for self-awareness. I know it's so weird to hear somebody say monkeypox, but that's a real thing. Can be serious. I don't believe we have any reported cases in our area, but just know that that is out there as we deal with all the viruses. Sort of segueing into the new variant of COVID, that is real too. The B, and I'll be candid with you. I have not looked into where we stand with this newer, tougher variant, and done a lot of my homework on it, but I've passed by headlines and then had conversations with friends and folks just saying it's COVID's not gone. And even if you got the shot, it's not going. Good morning, Natasha. Okay, Charlene, you said good morning, delegate. Wish you all today. Thankful that I can say that rough week includes a hospital stay. Oh, Charlene. I am hoping that you are well. Like, rough weekend. Don't know what your stay was. I'm glad that you're you're out and that you join us this morning. If there's anything that we can do to be of service, please let us know, Miss Charlene. Miss Charlene's here every morning. Every morning. So you guys send your well wishes to Miss Charlene, please, in the chat. Send her some good thoughts, some good health, good vibes, coming off of a rough weekend. And that's no joke, because I can't believe that it's already Tuesday. Yes, thank you for that care emoji. We appreciate it. Benita, thank you. I froze up, I know. Thank you for the care emoji, Benita. Good morning, getting at it. Secondly, some of you guys may be state employees. Now, one of the things, good morning. One of the things that has been, on my mind this weekend and troubling in a way is what's happening with the telework situation. Now, if you don't know, there was a telework policy. Hold on. You on the move? You on the move? Oh, goodness.
I'm going.
You going?
Yeah, but I went to the center.
Uh-huh. The funeral for your nephew?
Yeah, a lot of things I was saying.
It's my neighbor.
I got here.
His, yeah.
Now I got to go to the funeral today.
Okay. Is it the second funeral, or is it the funeral for, it was last night,
I was the viewing.
the viewing? Okay, I was just making sure. Okay. All right. You gonna be okay? I'll tell you guys. So, yeah. Take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. I said take care of yourself. So,
I learned some things just by going.
yeah. So my neighbor's nephew was killed in the city of Norfolk due to gun violence. And last night was the viewing for his nephew. Yeah.
Then we had to get all the facts. Simple as that.
Simple as that.
So it ain't everybody's fault.
No.
Mine.
Okay.
You didn't go see what's going on, so when the bird comes back to you, it came back wrong.
Yeah, he's went to the wake, the viewing last night. Yeah, that's right.
That was on me.
You own it.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. So yes, my neighbor, Mr. Lafayette, some of you guys may know him. If you've been on these lives, you know that he be around the way. His nephew was one of the young people killed in the past couple weeks due to gun violence in our area. And last night was the viewing for his nephew, and today's the funeral. So he's dragging today. Typically he's gone by now. That's why I was concerned. He's usually at work by now. He drops I have the great fortune of having neighbors that care about making sure I won't be able to go for like 20 minutes.
30 minutes?
20.
20 minutes? You said 20 minutes?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay. I'll come get you. I'll give you a ride.
Yeah. Then give me time to get the suit stuff out and set it up.
Okay.
I'll pop it out.
Thank y'all for your patience.
I give you the edge up.
Okay.
I got hair going all over everywhere.
All right. I'll come pull up in the driveway. I'll just come pull up in the driveway. Okay. All right. I'm finishing up here. He doesn't do social media. So thank y'all for your patience. My bad, I'm gonna give him a ride to work because we take care of each other. And like I said, Miss Charlene, we're all hoping that you are better and well. And also, there has been several young deaths in Norfolk over the past. By young, I mean under the age of 30. It's real, and we can't forget that that's actually, those things are these things are happening in our community. I think I read a headline the other night that said the young man that was killed on Lion, or that was shot on Lions 2 weeks ago, actually passed from his injuries last night or this week, within the past couple days. No, it does not sit. It does not always sit in the best place in our hearts that these things are happening. Just walk into that when we we oftentimes, I notice, leadership often only acts when the suspect is not suspect, when the victim is not the usual victim. And what's unfortunately is that it's what is a usual victim. And some would say that's a black man, right? That is not notable, but everybody is somebody's somebody. And Mr. Lafayette, the neighbor, he when I first moved here, he lost his partner of many years, and during the pandemic he lost his son. And I can tell you that since I've lived here for 6 years, he's at least lost four relatives to gun violence. And he lives alone, and he's an amazing person. And the reason why he walks up this fence, or you hear him more oftentimes, that's why I say usually he's gone by now, is that he gives me the newspaper every single day. Every single day he's dropping off yesterday's paper. He reads it, he writes the things, he takes the paper and he makes notes on things he feels like I need to be reading, and then or highlights them and puts the paper on the corner of my fence. And that is, that is an expression of love and community that I never want to go away. Unfortunately, in the years that I've been here, excuse me, I'm getting a little emotional. Unfortunately, in the years that I've been here, his health is declining. So it's really important that we take care of him. So there's that. So thank you guys for your patience with me, talking to Mr. Lafayette. He's an amazing man. Thank you, Charlene. That's exactly where we're going to, the telework policy. So right now, unfortunately, we have a situation, segueing, right? There you go. As we take Mr. Lafayette to work this morning, knowing that there are a lot of folks that are out there that want to work, but are also recognizing that work could look very different. And we have to really honor what the pandemic has done for us and our systems, our value systems. So here's what we know. More than 300 employees from at least 5 different agencies resigned since the new governor announced his telework policy. There is 183 people in the Department of Transportation, and I can tell you, I know at least one of those employees. I was talking to an employee who just said it doesn't make sense, just efficiency wise. People are seeing their value, and this is not somebody that's like, I just don't want to go in the job. It's like this, it just genuinely doesn't make sense, and that there's a little bit of chaos. So 183 employees, specifically from the Virginia Department of Transportation, 28 cited, 28 people, 28 of them that resigned, cited that they're leaving because of the telework options. Two of them listed telework as a reason, and didn't move to another agency. So there's more to come. And if you're not familiar with what happened on the state level, folks were, since the pandemic, we have started allowing telework. Now, I've been a teleworker since 2014. Since 2014, my second job after I got out, I worked from home. And I can tell you, there's an extreme amount of discipline that it takes to work from home. But there's also flexibility, and I'd say my productivity was much higher than in the office. However, it's about being able to create boundaries with your work. That probably was the toughest thing for me, working at all hours of the day and night. So on May 5th, this year, the executive branch, the leader of the executive branch, updated the telework policy for all state employees to begin working in person full time starting July 5th. Right, that's a couple of weeks ago, and they stressed that they would provide options and support the use of telework where it was actually appropriate. And when we say appropriate, it just depends on who's saying. And he's trying to what the leader of the executive branch said is that we are trying to balance demands of government service with public service needs. Now, look, if you talk to many of these employees, they say like they actually were doing their jobs better. The Virginia Department of Health, knowing that we're still in the midst of pandemic, Virginia Department of Health had 78 resignations. The Virginia Employment Commission, which is an office that we have to work hand in hand with, because a lot of the not complaints, but a lot of the constituent concerns we get are with with employment. The VEC, or Virginia Employment Commission, had 37 resignations from May 5th, from the moment he announced to the end of last month. The Virginia Housing and Community Development had 7 resignations from the day that he announced up until last week. And the Department of Emergency Management had 6 resignations. So it's not a joke, right? Like this is real. Some of them, they said some of them, cited better job, 3 dissatisfied, 6 cited home responsibilities, 2 listed illness, 3 cited school, and then the other reason. Here's the bigger issue with that, right? It's like really understanding where we are as a country and the disservice that we've seen is that what we're not addressing in this instance, or what the state level is not addressing, is all of the services and all of the things that are oftentimes required to get back to work, right? Knowing that we are still in a child care crisis. When we talk about getting people to places, we know that most jobs, most employment requires some mode of transportation. In the midst of saying that we want to get rid of the gas tax, which we did, and gas has dropped like 40-30 cents, right? I just feel like that was calculated, and that if we had passed that, they would have blamed it on the gas tax, and we all would have been thinking that the gas tax holiday helped us, but really no. So childcare, cost of gas, right? Efficiency within the workplace, just really looking at how people are working, taking these things into consideration, and then getting rid of the telework policy. It genuinely doesn't make sense. It does speak to me, it does speak to an executive, and out of sort of not in touch with the reality of people's daily lives. And I think oftentimes some of these folks were not affected by COVID in the way that everyday people were, and cannot even understand why it is an asset to allow for that option, right? Just for quality of work and for quality of life for employees. Yeah, and there is still more to come. I received information, and again, I'm gonna hold this close to my chest and to hold the name to my chest a little bit. But I received information stating that the governor's policy is also telling people that if you have COVID, you need to go to work. If you have COVID and you don't have symptoms, go to work. Take care. Ooh. Not cologne. If you have COVID and you don't have symptoms, you still need to go to work. Now that, to me is very narrow-minded, and if we're talking about the efficiencies of the government, we're not also caring about the whole person. Sometimes folks have have people that could really be harmed by COVID in their household, or just don't want to get COVID. Like I don't want to go to work and be like, yo, you're asymptomatic, but you can still. I just don't want COVID. How about that? Like I'm vaccinated, done all the things, but I just don't want COVID. So why are we having a work policy that says, again, by the governor, a work policy, and I say governor, and I really substitute that with the leader of the executive branch saying that y'all gotta go to work even if you're still testing positive. That's wild. That is inconsiderate. And I am thinking and trying to figure out what does it look like to advocate for what does it look like for state level employees to be able to advocate for themselves, recognizing, and this is what we have to hold in our hands, is that state level employees work for the executive branch of our government. That's it. They are state level. They work in service of the governor. That includes our state schools. So don't get mad when you like Norfolk State. Sometimes there have been things where it's like, whoa, I didn't know they were going to participate in that. They don't have a choice, right? State and schools don't have a choice as to whether or not they participate in the shenanigans of things. So in knowing that, I think it's really important. That's right. Get you some turn up music to start your day. It's inconsiderate, it's out of touch, and this is not, it's government. It's definitely government, and not a corporation. However, in a way, it is at that level managing. However, recognizing that we have secretariats, we have directors, we have department heads, we have supervisors. I wonder what kind of feedback of those agencies were taken into account when this decision was made. And I am guessing that there is not a lot, just from some of the conversations we've had with folks in leadership that are directly impacted, or their employees are directly impacted by these unilateral decisions being made by the head of the executive branch. Charlene said he's under illusion that he should just speak, and you should just fall to your knees and comply. If he believes he can become the president in 2028, we need to stop him now. So what's really important is who people surround themselves with. You guys know I'm the first person to say I don't know what I don't know, because that is so true. I don't want people to get upset with me when I don't know something that's going on in the community if it's due to ignorance. Like, there are knowledge gaps. I'm not all the places. But at the very minimum, I pride myself on trying to be prepared for what I can prepare for. The other evening, the leader of our executive branch, and this speaks to Charlene's point, went on Face the Nation, and said that was challenged about same-sex marriage, right? He was challenged in a way that it was like, all right, so what are you going to do, sir? And he pretty much said that he didn't say that he would ban same-sex marriage, but he did say that in Virginia, our Virginia law says that we protect same-sex marriage, and that's patently false, right? And there are folks who are getting like up in arms, like, yo, Democrats, y'all talking about this, and making it highly politicizing this. But what folks need to understand is that allowing same-sex marriage requires a change to our Constitution. Allowing for the automatic restoration of rights requires a change to the Virginia State Constitution. That is at least a 3-year process, right? You have got to be able to, it's a constitutional change, so we have to bring it forth. It has to make it out of committee. And if you don't know what that is, I wish you would have went to certified doer summer school. You would have learned a little something. So it has to do that. It has to be voted on. It has to be voted on by the general public, I think twice. Now, I need to double check myself on that process, but that's at least a 3-year process of getting those things, of being able to see those sorts of change. But no, if the Supreme Court decided tomorrow that they were going to strike down same-sex marriage as a right, or being able to marry whoever, let me just say, being able to marry whoever you want to marry, it would then become illegal in the Commonwealth of Virginia. That's it. And it was unfortunate to have the leader of the executive branch either do one of two things, or one of several things: either be willfully ignorant, right, and misspeak and speak on something that he did not have the answer to just flat out lie if that was the case, or two, to not have the people around you. Like, that is what the strength is that you all of you, and I'm going to point at you, make this office smarter, because you're telling us what's going on, you're bringing things to our attention. And so it stinks of just not having quality people that are attuned to just the general law of this Commonwealth sitting with you. Like, that's real. That's not a small misspeak of just saying, well, again, either it's willful ignorance, a flat out lying, or you just ain't got right people around you. All of those are just dangerous, right? Like, they are not helpful to residents of the Commonwealth. And this is not, and I'm speaking on this, at this point, because this is not the first, second, or third time where we've heard something come out the side of the mouth at the executive level that doesn't gel with actual facts of law in Virginia. But also said, that are talking, doing the talking points of states' rights. I need y'all to understand, when you hear this conversation around states' rights, remember that the last time we were talking about states' rights, the last time that we were having this debate in the United Countries, which is what we move into, or the states of America, because we are not united right now. The last time we had this conversation, it was over whether or not states had the right to allow the enslavement of Africans in their boundaries. That was the last time we argued states' rights, right? That resulted into a civil war, and we all know who won. And we're walking ourselves back. So what's going to be really important is understanding that we are right now in a country that is willing to take rights away. All right? And I think we've had this little bit of conversation before, that is willing to walk back rights. I cannot imagine being in a space where we are no longer able to marry who we want to marry. I just can't imagine going back. I remember being on active duty in the Navy when it happened and being like, wow, I wonder what's happening outside these gates. And when I finally got outside of the gates as a civilian, it was a beautiful thing to see see our country minding their damn business. Okay? Like, on certain things, you just mind your business. It ain't hurt nobody, and doing it under the guise of faith. There is a reason, if we're talking constitutionally, there's a reason that the forefathers decided to separate church and state, and I think that's the argument that is missing in all of this, as folks that are that want a theocracy. And a theocracy is a land ruled by religion, right? The folks that want a theocracy, because the basis of much of what folks are saying, it's not science, it's religion. That our forefathers, that one piece that we failed to put in this conversation about states' rights and things like that, is that there's a separation of church and state. The Europeans that came over here were leaving and fleeing that sort of thumb. So let us be mindful of what the real is here and what's really happening and where we're going, because we could very well be back in a situation where we're fighting for rights that you hear me? We could be back in a situation. We are there. And this is not a game. And so as we walk towards, there's the 2022 election and 2023, I am urging you all to get folks to understand that right now more than ever. And I can't believe where I am at this time. I cannot believe it. What a time. I cannot believe that I am a state legislator sometimes. It floors me, especially in this time where state legislators are going to be the single point of success or failure of rights for people. That is where we're at. And I am hopeful that we all do a better job of being plugged in, present company included, on what is happening, because it is going to come down to state legislators, period. Just looking and making sure that I'm on the nose with things. There's some positive things going on. I'm gonna say thank you to Vince for the briefing this morning. I'm going to save some of this. Several issues just so to let you guys know, because there's one that I want to give the space that it deserves about this black scientist. I want to give him all the space. So I'll do that on Thursday. Some things that we're processing. We've got people that aren't being able to get certain medication because of the recent Supreme Court ruling for like rheumatoid arthritis, that like you got people not being, we're looking into some treatment at one of our local hospitals of a woman that was miscarrying. What's happening right now is having a huge ripple effect on people's, I don't want to say common sense, but on people's ability to have empathy and discernment on how they help folks. And that is ultimately dangerous. Okay? Super dangerous at this point. And I keep saying at this point, and it's been that way. It's and then locally we have all this stuff. What I'll do, and I thank you guys for hanging in there with me when I talk to Mr. Lafayette. I'm going to get ready to take him to work. But I need you to do several things, right? One, I need you to subscribe to our newsletter, period. Like, that is how we're putting out a lot of information. The link to subscribe to the newsletter is in the description. I need you all to sign up for summer school if you have not already. Summer school has started. Next week we will be building bills, right? You can go to the website, delegatejackieglass.com, and go to summer school. We are teaching you the process. The most dangerous thing we can do is make you an educated electorate. What happens when you really can hold me accountable? Because you know what the heck I'm doing and what I'm not doing, right? For real. Not just me, all elected. And it ain't just it's more than that. But I need you to be educated. We have a town hall coming up in the Freemason area on July 27th. It is July 27th. At 5:30, it's going to be at Freemason Baptist Church on Freemason Street. Look, if you are listening here, right? You've subscribed, you've liked all of our social, you've signed up for Certified Doer Summer School, and you've been to a town hall, because we've been having town halls all over town. Here's where you can be helpful, or you've done all the things that you can. Here's where you can be helpful. You can let us know spaces and places that you think where should we have our next town hall. We're deciding where we're going to go for August. In September is when we'll start checking in with civic leagues. But I'm going to tell you guys this, like, I know that even in, that civic leagues are not always the most perfect representation of the community. I get that. As a person who isn't part of a civic league, we need more people there. And so I'm trying to create opportunities that are outside of and inside of civic league, inviting civic leagues to the town halls, okay? Because I think that is more efficient and effective time of bringing all kinds of people into a space than just going to a single civic league. Now, if I get invited to your civic league, I will do my best to be there. But I do want to create a space where I can get the most people in the room to do the JOB. I saw that Norfolk having a national night out this year. Vince, you put he put a little something in the chat. What I will say is, I'll check it, because usually that's in August, right? National Night Out, Brenda. is in August typically, I think. We'll check, because last year, it was a little weird last year the way we had. I think we had several of them that just weren't really publicized in a meaningful way. That's something you all can help me with too as well. Oh, August 2nd. There you go. Where's it going to be this year, August 2nd? Where are they having it? Can you, Philip and Vince, thank you guys for putting it in there. What's the location of National Night Out? We'll get that, and then I'm going to get Mr. Lafayette to work. Let's see what we got. Do we have it where it's at? For those of you guys that don't know, and you're probably like, what is National Night Out? What is this? Okay, so National Night Out is an event that happens across the country that's supposed to enhance the relationship between the community, neighbors, and law enforcement, while really sort of targeting and making a true sense of community. That's real. Oh, okay. Thank you for that. Thank you for asking. Listen, if they don't do it, we do it. Like that's the bottom line. We pull something together and do a national night out. Brenda, you here for that? Are you here for that? So, all right. Thank you all for your time and service this morning. I know we got a little off the rails. I want to make sure that we're not permissive, right? We're certified doers. That's how it works here. Keep the families that were displaced the other night. A couple families over on, I'm trying to look, there were 20 residents, to include 3 children, off of Sewell's Point Road, that were displaced this evening after yesterday afternoon, after there was a fire. So please take some time to many hands make light work. I'm interested to see. I'm going to sort of follow up on that. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. Vince actually brought this fire to my attention and said, hey, is this a you thing? Is it a city thing? Or do not hesitate to bring things to my attention. If it isn't something within my wheelhouse or something that I will add value on, or know anyone that can add value in, I promise you I will do my best to do a warm handoff to whomever is next. But yes, yesterday evening there was a fire. 17 adults, 3 children. 8 apartments were deemed uninhabitable. It's real in the midst of all of this. But we're doers. We're going to show up in the most meaningful way. I hope you guys are able to make it today a great day. Thank you, Nita, for being here with us and for getting up and riding your bike. What? Getting up and getting at it? Stop it. No, keep doing it. Keep doing it. All right. Talk to you guys on Tuesday. Don't forget Town Hall. Need you there. Sign up for the newsletter. Do it now. All right. Make it a great day.